Hi guys, welcome to my video and my YouTube channel. In this tutorial part 3 I will mainly focus on how to implement doors into this dungeon. How to spawn doors, spawn them the correct place, kind of control how many doors you want to spawn, make the small door animations of the door opening, and I will also make some door lights that changes color when you unlock or go through a door. Alright, so I hope this will be super exciting for you guys. Anyways, if you're ready for this tutorial, then sit back, grab a cup of coffee and some popcorn, and let's begin. This is part 3 of the procedural dungeon tutorial. And again, people have really liked the first 2 parts of this tutorial, and I'm a little surprised that again that people are watching this, because I don't consider myself a very good tutorial maker. So it kind of blows my mind the positive feedback I've gotten from these tutorials, and it encouraged me to make more parts in this series. It's super awesome. It has really helped my channel a lot. These 2 dungeon tutorials have made it so that I'm actually able to earn money on YouTube now because I'm getting enough views. So that's absolutely fantastic, guys, and it's all thanks to you for watching my videos. It's as simple as that. And you know, this part 3 has been kind of a long way coming, but I just don't have a lot of time to do these things, so sometimes it just takes a while for the next video to show up, and that's just the way it is. Okay, so first of all I want to try and make things a little more pretty to look at when I work. This is a thing I constantly keep doing because it's kind of hard to me to judge anything if everything is just gray, completely gray or white, or it doesn't have the proper lighting, you know. So I want to try and make pretty as I go. So let's start with the coin. This coin, it's mostly just the material I want to change, so double click the material, get it up. I'm not sure if I did anything to the material in part 2, but let's see. Click on metallic, roughness, metallic, set it to 1, set roughness to, I don't know, 0. Then we get a super shiny coin. Which looks great, I hope. Let's try and see it in the game. Yes, we have pretty and shiny coin now. We can also, again, if you want to skip this part, I will make chapters in the video so you can just skip it. I would also like to add a point light to this coin. So add, okay, I'm kind of forgetting to show you guys what I'm doing here. Add, select point light, just call it point light, that is fine. Move it up to the coin, turn off shadows. We don't need shadows for something like coins. What I like to do is to go to advanced here and use inverse square fall off. In many cases I turn this off. Let's see if we can do it without. Let me show you why I turn this off. Make this color a little orange, so go down to white and a little up, I don't know, something like that, half orange. Compile. Let's see how it looks. Where's the dungeon? It's here. See, it's super bright, the light right now. I also want to make it a little more orange, like this. So it's super bright, so we can turn down the intensity for once. Let's set it to 1000 and try again. That's better. But see, you see how big the radius is here. It's 1000 and we are only getting light just around the coin, because it is because of the fall off going from the center to out here. It's almost nothing. It's still there, but it's nothing. So if you turn the radius down to, let's say, I don't know, 300, and compile, try again, then we should get super bright still. That actually doesn't look too bad. Let's try and turn this inverse square fall off, and then it gets super bright. See, now we get these super bright blobs. Let's go in here again, turn this all the way down to, I don't know, 10 maybe. Try again. See, it's still very bright, so we can turn all this down. Maybe we can turn the radius even further down and the intensity down to 5. Yeah, then we got almost nothing. So maybe bring the intensity up to 10 again. But the whole idea with this inverse square thing is that I can usually get the radius a lot smaller on my lights. And I mean, they say that you need to keep it on to have more realistic looking lights, but I mean, honestly, I can't tell any difference, other than I can get all the values down, and I think that is a good thing. It could be me, I don't know. Let's just keep it like this. I mean, all this doesn't really matter because you're going to have your own assets for your game. Alright, let's make a material for the chest. So, base material, right click, create a material instance. Let's call it M for material and chest. I think that is an awesome name. Open the material, click on the metallic and roughness, set the metallic to 1, and then we can set the roughness down to 0.5 maybe, and then we will make an awesome blue color here. Again guys, also I'm colorblind, so who knows if this is blue or purple or whatever, so I just turn green and red down to 0, then I know it's 100% blue. Right, that's how I work. And then make it a little lighter, brighter. It's still blue. Alright, this is an awesome looking color. I mean, in my eyes. I don't know what it looks like in your eyes, but let's just try and put it down to the treasure chest. So select it over here, chest. Looks awesome. Play. Let's see what we're working with. Coins. We need more chests into this dungeon. It's a little dark, but I think I will make it a little brighter. Like this. You could also put in a light, but we're not going to do that for this chest. Alright, so the last visual thing is the dungeon rooms. Let's make a new instance material. Call it M floor, for example. Open it, and I mean, click the color on and just make it a little darker, like this. Not a lot. Let's just close all these things down we are not using anymore. Let's open up all the rooms here and the end wall. Open everything up, go to the viewport, find the mesh, then go in here and click on the floor, make sure it is selected down here, so you can just plug it in with the arrow. Click the arrow. That's not a floor. Forget the end wall. Go to the next room, viewport. Okay, let's start with another example. Like, okay, here, that what I'm talking about. Select the floor, put in the darker material, select the next room, select the floor, put in the dark material. You just do that for all your rooms. And again, this is completely pointless if you're just using your own assets and your own room and materials. It's just I just like to have something nice to look at while I'm working. So this room, we need to select all the floors here and edit, and also the stair part is flickering because it's two different materials on top of each other. I mean, doesn't matter. Select the floor, plug in the dark material. Now it looks like something like this, and I'm sure this will look awesome when we play the game. Save everything, simulate the game. Look at that. Just look at how awesome it looks compared to everything being the same material. It just looks awesome. Everything looks awesome, guys. Let's continue. So one of the biggest requests I got in this part 1 and part 2 is how to make doors in the dungeon. So that is exactly what we're going to do now. So go into the dungeon generator. Where do we have it? It's been a while since I've looked at this project. I've had so little time that this part 3 has been a long way coming, but let's just get into it. First of all, we need to make a new list. We need to make a list where we take all the used exit arrows and put them into a list called door list. So when an exit arrow has been used, we will put it into a door list, so it's able to spawn a door, because we know there is another room there on the arrow. So let's just make that door list. Before I do that, we need to make sure that we're making the right variable down here, and to me that can be confusing sometimes. See, we have these ones, primitive component array, and then we have this one, array of actor class reference. I mean, you know, when you make a new variable down here, let's call it door list, and then when you have to set what it is up here, right now it's a boolean, I need it to be an actor, because the door is going to be an actor. And I mean, look at all this, look at all these things called actor. I mean, what is all this? Object reference, class reference, soft object reference, soft class reference. I have no idea what this is. So as it happens very often that I select something wrong and then it doesn't fit in. Like, let's say we make it into an object reference, actor object reference, right? Then we need to go down here and say spawn actor, because we want to spawn a door. Spawn actor from class. I know this is the one that will spawn an actor, right? So now we spawn an actor. Then I take this actor thing we made, drag it out and get it, and then you see it doesn't fit. It turns it into something else. And I cannot explain to you how this works because I'm not sure what's going on here. So what I usually do is just delete this, delete the door list we made. Then when it makes an error like this, you need to hold down Alt on your keyboard and left click the error and it goes away. And I don't know why that is, but it's just the way it is. Okay, so compile this. What I do is I right click on this node here, on this input, and then I say promote to variable. Then I'm 100% sure that these two match up. I don't have to fiddle around in some actor list to try and figure out what kind of object type it is I'm looking for. So this is the easy way to do it. And then I rename this door list. So now I'm sure it works. I can put, let's compile it. I can put in my door here, my door actor. So far so good. And I put it down here right under the cap holes custom event, because we're going to do the exact same thing. I also I just fucked up, right guys? This is not the door list, this is the door actor. So we need to rename it again to let's just say door actor, right? Okay, so now we need the door list, which is a list of all the used arrows that we know there's another room on. Exactly kind of opposite, like these close holes. These are arrows where we know there's no rooms attached to them, right? But we can clone this exit list because we just need the arrows for this door list. So where do we have it? We have the exit list here. So duplicate it, and now we call it door list, which will be a list of all the arrows where we can spawn a door from. So let's make a new custom event. Let's search custom event, add custom event, and then we call it spawn doors. Makes completely sense to me. Then we drag out the door list, we get the door list, and then we do for each loop, just like we're doing above on the close holes. We do it for every single arrow that is in this list. We plug it in to the spawn actor, and we need to get the world transform. Get world transform. This is the world transform of the arrow that has been selected in the list, and we plug it in here like this. Remember, always spawn, ignore collisions. If you don't do this, if your door is then colliding with a wall or something like that, the wall will push the door around, so the door is spawning offset, right? It's not spawning in the exact location because the walls are pushing it away. I don't think we have this problem right now because of the way we set up the collisions, but just do this just in case. It's the same if you're spawning an enemy or a player character. If the enemy is inserted in the floor a little, there's a chance that the floor will push the enemy outside of the dungeon or something like that to spawn it. So always spawn, ignore collisions. Okay, so now we want to use the stream thing we are doing, right? So we get the door actor, plug it in, and now we need to type in stream. No, was it random? No, okay, hang on. Yeah, it's because the door actor, we need to make it into an array. That means we can spawn different types of doors, and we can also spawn empty doors, which will be no door. So delete this over here. So now we have the door actor array. This is where we put in our different doors. And now we get this error again. You can just hold down Alt and left click it and it will disappear like magic. So compile it, then we have what is going on here. Why am I getting an error? It's because there's nothing in the class, but we'll get to that. Okay, so drag out from the door actor array, type in stream. Okay, then we get random array item from stream, like this, and then we find the stream over here. Where is, there we go, get the stream, get it and plug it in here, and then it will select from these doors we have put in, door types, it will select one, and we will plug it in here into the class. Compile. And this should work, guys. So the problem right now is that we haven't made any doors, right? And there's nothing in the door list because we haven't put anything in the list. We need to go in somewhere here and take the arrows and put the arrows we need into this list. So that's what we're going to do now. Let's just make sure we have something in the door list to begin with. So we need to go into the room overlapping part here. So if a room succeeds, it's not getting destroyed and we're not getting a new room. If we keep the room, we clear the overlap list, we do all these things, we remove the exit arrow from the list. This is the important part, so we don't spawn a new room on top of the room we just spawned. And this is where we want to take the selected exit point that has been removed from this list, and we need to put it into another list, which is the door list. So let's just make some space, some outer space here, and remember to keep up with your cubes here, green things. So we want to copy this one, selected exit point, Control C, Control V, and we need to add, go down to array, select add, plug that in here. So now we're adding the selected exit point, and because the selected exit point is getting removed over here, doesn't mean that the exit point doesn't exist. We're just removing it from this list. This exit point can exist in many lists. It still exists in the world. We're just removing it from this list. So let's grab out the door list and get it and plug it in here. So now we are adding the exit point to the door list. And this is the exit point that we know works, that has placed another room on top of it. Right? Does that make sense, guys? Let me just try and see here. Let's just press play. I mean, nothing's going to happen now. For example, this exit arrow that is part of this room, when a new room has been added to this arrow will be removed from the dungeon list here. So it cannot add a new room on top of it, right? But this arrow, we will add that to the door list, right? So now this is a door arrow. You can say it like this, right? This is a door arrow. And now we are able to spawn doors on this arrow, not rooms. We have already done that. So we put the arrow in a list where we are able to spawn doors from this arrow now. I hope that makes sense. Let's stop it again. Let's go back into the generator here. So that is exactly what's happening right here. You can make a new caption here and call it add to door list. Just so we know. I mean, you can do that I mean, you can do this in other places too, where you need to be more specific on what's going on and not just this big overview thing. So guys, now the arrow has been added to the door list. And let's compile everything. Let's go back here. Just to make things super easy here, we are going to make a new actor blueprint class and select actor. This will be our door A. I have a tendency to call my things A if I know there will be more variations of the same thing. It will work exactly the same way. Maybe it's just blue or red, or maybe the door just looks different, but it has the same function. So I mean, you can just call it door, doesn't matter. Door A is what I'm calling it. Go into door A here, and then let's add a cube. We just want to see if this works. Now we have a cube here. Let's make a new material. You can copy the chest material, duplicate it. Let's call it M door, and we can make it another color. I don't know, this random color will do. Save it, close the material, compile it, save all. Let's go into the dungeon generator here. Let's go to the door actor. We need to call this door actor list because it's an array and it can have multiple actors in it. Compile. Let's just remove all, make a new one. Select your door A. I'm going to regret I called it door A. So let's just call it door. I mean, if we make more, we can call it ABC and so on. Yeah. Door. Save. So again, nothing will happen right now because we are not playing this event anywhere. We just made the event. We are not really playing it anywhere. So we need to go to here. We have the cap holes here, and I think we need to spawn the doors in the same area here. And guys, this is sometimes I put in these events the wrong place and things won't work, and then I move them around and then all of a sudden it works. So kind of it's important where things are put into this execution line here, in which order things are happening. That is super important, but I think we should put it in here right besides close holes. So we need to find the custom event in the graph, event graph. Open this up, spawn doors, drag it in, hook it up here, compile, and let's see. It should spawn something now. Let's see about that. Okay, here goes. We didn't put on the material, but you can see the door here. We have it. And I mean, guys, this is the scary part about making tutorials, right? I mean, you just hope and pray that what you're teaching here actually works, so you don't look like a complete idiot, right? Let's go out. Let's go into the door. Let's grab the material, plug it in. We can scale this up. So which way do we scale it? That's a good question. We can go to the end wall because it's using the same system. Right, we can see here the end wall has these parameters. Can we just copy? Can we just copy all properties? So we get the transform, rotation and scale. Can we just plug it in here? Paste. Alright, so now it's exactly like the end wall. The problem with the end wall is that we needed to move it on the x-axis to fit in with the wall, but the door needs to go in exactly in between two rooms. So this should not have any offset at all on the x. So let's just put this to 0. Let's compile and let's see. So where's the dungeon here? See, we have doors now. They're a little too big, but they are exactly in between two rooms. See how awesome they look, guys, because we just gave them a different color. So, a success so far. Let's continue. Okay, let's see if we can fix this door size problem. And I don't know, because I just made the rooms random. So scale. Whoops, undo this. So turn off this lock so it only affects the one axis we are adjusting. So 5. Is that working? Let's see. That looks like that is the perfect number. So that also means that I know the end wall is wrong. So if we send the end wall to 5 also, it won't be clipping with the walls. So that was nice and easy. I think we can do now is if we go into the spawn doors here, go into the door actor list. There's only one door. If we add a new one here and we set it to none, then we get there's a 50% chance that a wall will that a door will spawn. Right, the other 50% it will spawn something empty. Let's see if that works. See, we don't have any doors here. We only get doors to some of the rooms. And guys, this is how I'm doing it in the game I'm making right now. It's not the Adventures of Gorm, it's something else, something secret, but it's taking place inside a maze. And I'm basically making this tutorial from what I am learning doing my secret maze game. Right, so, and this is what I do for the doors. If I want even less doors than this, I add another one like this. It's just an easy way to constrain how many doors are spawning, because I'm not going to make a system that spawns a door every fifth exit arrow or something like that. And I don't think I'm going to make any keys for these doors, and because that is a problem, right? What if the key is in this room and there's a door right in front of it? Then you can never get to that room with the key in it. So things like the progression of the dungeon is not something I have done or know how to do, because normally you want a correct path throughout the whole dungeon, and then rooms that branches off to the side where you can put boss rooms and keys and other things, pickups like that. But there should also be like a correct way throughout the whole dungeon. I mean, you can get to all rooms in this dungeon right now the way this has been created, but it's also completely random, which is a downside to this maze we're doing here. But also, guys, remember, I'm not doing a full game here, right? I'm showing you a ton of system and concepts that I'm using when I'm doing my procedural stuff, and the whole idea is that you should hopefully be smarter than me and be able to expand these systems I'm doing here, or improve them to make them even better than what I'm teaching here in these videos. So keep that in mind when you're making suggestions for part 4. I'm kind of teaching you how all this blueprint stuff works. I'm not trying to make a completely bulletproof dungeon that you can ship in a AAA game, right? There will be a lot of downsides to this dungeon. I will just try and kind of make sure that the dungeon doesn't crash, or make sure it works all the time and you can get into all the rooms, things like that. It's kind of the basic concepts I'm teaching in these videos. Okay, let's see if we can get this door to move. So stop this. Okay guys, let's open up the door here. And again, I will put chapters into this video, so you can skip this part if you already know how to make doors, and also if you think the way I'm making doors is completely idiotic, then you can skip this part too. There are tons of door tutorials on YouTube. Just pick one. They're probably all better than what I'm going to show you now, but I will try also and explain what's going on here. So delete all this, we don't need this. We need the door to open when you get close to it. We need the door to close when you get away from it, something like that. And here we have the door. So we need a collision box, a trigger box. So go into add, type in box. There we have box collision. Let's call it trigger. It doesn't have to be under the cube, just put it on the default root here, attach it. Right now it's just super small, so just scale it up so it kind of covers the area. We can always tweak this, that's not so important right now. Go down to collision here, and this is all these settings, guys. Whenever you make, see, if I create, let's see, a cube here, a mesh, then it just comes with some random collision settings here, and you need to, every time you add mesh into an actor, you need to make sure all this is set up correctly, so it doesn't check for overlap on everything in your scene, and doesn't block things it don't need to block. You know, things like this. Make sure on every mesh in your actors that this is set up correctly. And I don't know what correctly is, you have to fiddle around with it. So delete this cube again, go into the trigger. Can the character step on it? No. Does it create overlap events? Yes, because we need overlap to activate the trigger. The overlap all dynamic, I don't know about this. I usually just go into custom, query only, no physics collision. I mean, maybe world dynamic, sure. Ignore everything except for the pawn. So the player character is a pawn, the player actor thing. So this should work. And you also need to make sure that your player character can overlap with world dynamic. Let's see if we can, where is that character? Let's see if we can do that. Which one is it using? This one. Rigs. Is it rigs? where's the blueprint? Poses, meshes, textures, animations, I don't know. I can't find the blueprint. No, I'm not spending time on that, but the point is, make sure you go into your character blueprint and make sure that your character is overlapping with world dynamics, so these two can meet each other. So right, this trigger is only overlapping with a pawn, so make sure that your pawn can also overlap with world dynamic, otherwise it won't work. Okay, so to make this work, select the trigger, go down to on component, begin overlap, click on that, and then we're getting transformed into the event graph here. So let's just make a print string to see if this works at all. So we type in here overlapping door. Alright, let's see if it works. Let's just press play here. You see the character spawning before the dungeon is complete. And I think at some point we will look into that also. It's overlapping. You see the text, overlapping door, fantastic. So the character can overlap with the trigger, and that's all that matters right now. Let's get back into the door. So we need what I'm thinking. When you're overlapping, it should just go down. When you're not overlapping, it should go up again. That's our basic door. We can make it a little thinner so it doesn't look like a huge brick. 0.3, that's the perfect number. The perfect thickness for a door is 0.3. So when we want to move this, we want to move it in the Z axis. That is the one that goes up and down. This one. Oh, here. See? The Z axis on the location. That is what we want to affect. So what we do here is we drag out the cube mesh. Then we can say set location. And this is a problem. This is another problem, guys. We have all these different location things. Relative location, world location. Then we also have offsets. I don't know what all this is and when you're using what. And the world location is not going to work because it... Anyways, guys, click on the set relative location. I think we'll try and do it with this one. Plug it in here. Let's just see what happens. So when you overlap this trigger, then we want to give it a new Z position. Let's just try and say 200 and see what is going on. And guys, I'm sorry, this thing always confuses me, right? All these location things. Let's see what happens. We'll just have to wait for the doors to spawn. There we go. Yeah, it's gonna get pushed up 200 units or whatever this system is. So that's fine for now. Then we need to do the same when you get out of the overlap box. So go down here on component end overlap. When you are getting out of the overlap box, then we want to do the same. So copy this, plug it in, And then this, I think this needs to be minus 200 because it has been moved up 200. Then we need to move it down the same amount. Let's see. Yeah, it just completely disappeared. That's what I'm talking about here. Why? What's happening? Why? What? Again, this doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, maybe it makes a little sense. Because we're just moving it from where it already is placed, is what I'm thinking here. So we need to copy the cube here. Let's just do it on this one. Copy the cube. And then we need to get location. Get relative location, maybe, I think. So now we have where it is right now. And then we need to, yeah, we need to split this struct pin, and we need to split this also, split struct pin. Then we had X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. So we don't want to do anything with X, so we just paste it along, pass it along, whatever you, and then do the same for X. Sorry, Y. Jesus Christ, man. Sorry. Guys, let's focus here. And I mean, this is the hard part of doing tutorials for me. It's when I'm fumbling around with stuff, saying the wrong words, and it kind of, it heightens my anxiety, right? And then everything just gets worse. But let's just focus on what's going on here. Take a deep breath. So we want to move it in C. So we can drag out, and then we can type in plus on your keyboard, or you can type in add. It's the same thing. I think plus is easier because then you don't have as many options. So you click on add, and then you plug that into C. So this is the amount we want to move it in C from where it already is. So let's try and say minus 200 now. See if it works. Why can't this guy sprint? Yeah, then they move down too much. Why? I don't know. But I think maybe we need to try and do it the same thing for the begin overlap here. So copy all this, paste it in, make room. But you can just delete this one because we know it works. The overlapping is working. Plug this in here. Wrong. Split it. X to X, Y to Y, C to C. Compile. Not minus 200. 200. I mean, if this doesn't work. Alright, so that worked. Now we just need to do it the opposite. So minus 200 when you overlap, and 200 when you end overlap. There we go. Look at that. That's fantastic, guys. And the thing is, this is something I do constantly, fumbling around with things until it just magically works at some point, because none of this makes too much sense to me, to be honest. So and you need to go to other YouTube channels to find guys who knows exactly why this works, because I can't really tell you why the relative location thing works, and not the world, and not the local offset and all this stuff. So we got it working. We randomly stumbled upon something that works, which is how I make games. So the obvious problem right now is that the door is just, you know, teleporting up and teleporting down. We wanted to use an animation for this, and this is where it becomes even more complicated than it really should be. I don't know why Unreal doesn't have a simple delay animation node where you just type in 2 seconds and then it moves alpha in a lerp. Okay, so what we need to do here is something called lerp. Right, let's see. Lerp. Maybe we can just use a float. Yeah, let's see if we can make it work with a float thing here. So we need more space. So we take this C and put it in to A, and then we need, let's just try and type in -200 here, and plug it into C. So we're kind of overriding this part. And this means when this alpha thing that goes from 0 to 1, if it's 0, then it's the A input result here that works. If I put it to 1, then it's B that works. Alright, I'm trying to explain right now how this lerp works. So if I set it to 1, B should be working. Let's see if, and then it should just go down just as before. Let's see if that works. And again, you kind of need to test out everything all the time. You can't just go in and make a huge chunk of code and then pray that it works. See, now everything fucks up as expected, right? So what are we doing here? And again, why doesn't this work now? Why is it not working? Why it's doing the exact same thing? So what happens if we set this to 0? Then it should just pass all this along, and the door shouldn't do anything. Whoa. Yeah, it doesn't do anything when we go into the trigger, but when we go out, it will move it. And it will move it further and further up, yes. So, what's going on with 1? Let's just say 150, and let's see what's, oh wait a minute, yeah, 1. Okay, let's try again. This is the messy part. I don't know if I should edit some of this nonsense out. It's not up, it's down. Well, okay, let's just say -50. Okay, so all of a sudden 50 is, so 200 is much further down than it was before. For some reason, I don't know why. And what is this, 50 also? So these numbers are not really the same now. Why are they not? Should be the same now, should end up the same place. No. What is this? What is the meaning of this? You see what I'm talking about, guys? This is, I don't know why, but let's just get this one to work. We need to make an animation timeline that so we can animate this parameter. Right now we can just set it, but we need it to go from 0 to 1 over time. That is what we need to do. And I mean, it would be awesome if you just could plug in a delay here and then it would animate over that delay, but that's not how it works. We need to make a timeline. So right click, say timeline, add timeline, and we will call it door animation. Then we need to double click the timeline, then we get into this view. And this is, I mean, overly complicated stuff here for no reason. We need to add a float track because we are only modifying one of the axes. If we are modifying all three, we need to make a vector, but we only need to do it on the C, so we can do it with a float. And the door animation we need to set to 1 second, so go to length, type in 1, then we have a timeline that lasts for 1 second. Right click somewhere here, add a key, right click another place, add a key. So select the first key, set the time to 0 and the value to 0. Select the next key, set the time to 1 and set the value to 1. You can click on these two to center the timeline here. And what this means is, like 1 is kind of like 100%, and so the minimum is 0 and the maximum is 1. Maybe the minimum is -1, I don't know, guys. But now we have an animation that goes from 1 second, it goes from 0 to 1. And that is what we need here. We need this alpha to go from 0 to 1 over time, over 1 second, which we made in this animation timeline. Right, so get it in here. Play from start. And then update. Yeah, I think this should work. And then, just go into the door timeline again. And you could double click here, new track 0, double click it, no, not double click, right click, rename, say alpha. Right, then go back to the event graph. Then we have alpha. This is our animation. We plug the animation into the alpha here. So now is the exciting time, guys. What is happening? I don't know. Let's see. The door should animate down over 1 second now. Okay, so we have a, yeah, let's see. It worked. it's animating. It's a pretty good animation, to be honest. It doesn't go all the way down. Let's start by fixing that. That is just this number. And again guys, before it was -200 and it was lying exactly on the floor. That doesn't work anymore for some reason. Now we need to find new numbers. So I don't know, -70. Let's try and see if that works. Did it end up the same? I mean, this is where the trial and error starts, -150. This is why game development takes so goddamn long. Dungeon broken. Oh, it made a new dungeon. The dungeon broke. So that's why we have the fail save system. So if the dungeon fucks up, then it will just redo it. Okay, why are the doors so far away now? Okay, so that was too much. So what about 90? $95, if we want to make it more precise. I mean, this part, this chapter of the video, I will probably call "How to make this stupid door work." Guys, this is good enough, is it not? That's fine. Okay, so now we need to animate it up. So I think the easiest thing is to just delete this, copy this, Control C, Control V, and plug it in. Again, the thing is, we should be able to plug this into reverse from end, which is the opposite of this one. So it plays the animation in reverse, and one should think that it would work, but yeah, it doesn't. And I don't know why. Maybe try and put it into reverse. So when you end overlap, it should do the same thing, but the other way around. But you know, to my surprise, it doesn't work. It's not a surprise, but yeah, I don't know what's happening here. So forget that system. Plug it in from start. Rename this timeline to door close. We should rename this to door open. Animation, because it's an animation. Door close animation. And then we should just remove the minus, so it moves the same amount but in the opposite direction. All right, it works. That's fantastic, guys. And again, you can make a door that splits into two parts, and you can make the door from two parts and then make them both go to the side into the walls. You know, like in Alien and movies and the Doom game and all that, to make it even more awesome. But the thing is, guys, this, just to make the door go up and down, we need we need all this, and I even made it even more complicated in my own game. I don't know what's going on. See how it looks in my own game here. It's just a complete nightmare. So I actually managed to improve the system, which is awesome. So now I need to go and update my own game again. So these tutorials are actually also helping me, right? That is completely mind-blowing. So guys, make some comments. Open door, make it green because it works. Close door and green because it works. And I mean, this might seem a little redundant to do this cleanup thing in this small blueprint, but you know, before you know of it, you will have a door that changes colors if it's unlocked, and then it's red when it's locked, and then you need different things to do in these doors. So just make sure that you organize your stuff so you can find what you're looking for. And speaking about organizing, let's remove the end wall. Let's go in here. This part is also working, so we will type in spawn doors, and I again often call the caption here the same as the event, so things are kind of matching each other. And also make the size, what was it, 30, so it gets a little bigger. So this part works. This part also works. Make it green. Did we do anything else? No, this is, I mean, it's very little we did just to add doors, right? Just remember the way I'm doing it in this system is put in more empty if you want less doors. I mean, that's the solution I have right now. To do some more stuff in this door, this is something I also use a lot for my games, is how to change material depending on different things. Like if you have a door, you might want the lights around the door to be red. If the door is locked, when you unlock it, you want the lights to switch to blue, so you know this door is unlocked. And I think I want to show you how to do that. So in this case, I think once we open a door, we will unlock it and we will change the color, so we can see which doors we have been through and which ones we still haven't opened yet. Right, so here on the begin overlap, when we activate a door, grab out the cube, which is the door, the mesh, the door mesh, drag out and say create a dynamic material instance. And I don't know why you want to create a material instance, but again, that is how it works. I mean, one would think that you can just get out here, get material. I can actually do that. Then I want to, I don't know, get the color. No. So, you know, get material color. No. I mean, there's nothing. You just can't get the material color and change it. So we need to go through all these hoops to get things working, right? You can't just get a color and change it. That's no, that would be too easy. So we need to make all these nodes to get different things, and now I need to create dynamic material instance. I have no idea what that means, but it's just the way it works. So we need to plug in the material here we're using for the doors. So door, and maybe we can put in the master material, I'm not sure, but put in the door material here. Make sure the element index is 0. The element index here is this one. We have one material and it gets the element index of 0. If this door had 2 materials, there would be 2 in here, and one was called 0 and one was called 1. So which one of these materials do we want to change? We want to change 0. So we need to drag out here, and we need to get vector parameter value. No idea what it means, vector parameter, because color is a vector or something like that. So the parameter value, what is that? Go into your material here, click on this spyglass, I don't know what it's called, open the door material. The parameter we want to change here is called color, with a big C, capital C, right? So type in color. Now it knows that this is the parameter in the material that we want to change. Well, actually I think we need to set it. Okay, so set vector parameter value, the same thing. Type in color here. Let's just unplug this, move it, because I want to show you something later on here. So plug this one in. Now it changes the color, so we can set the color to blue. Right, when we overlap, the door opens and it turns blue. It will probably turn blue before it opens because everything just happens super fast. Let's see if it works. Yes, it's blue. So now the door is unlocked. That's great, guys. Awesome. So far so good. That means, of course, we need to make this red before it makes any sense. So red when it's locked, blue when it's unlocked. So that is enough for you to change the color on your doors. And you could, instead of making it on the door, you could make, okay, let's just try and see here. Let's just make a cylinder. Let's just make a light, right? This is, we call this, just call it light. Let's just call it door color, right? And then just plug it into default scene root, attach. Yeah, it got the scale from this, so just reset the scale here. Reset the position, and now we're just going to make a light like you have on a garage or something like that. Move it like this. No, I actually think we need to. Okay, I will be fiddling around a little now, and that is fine. We can just skip this part. Let's make some door lights here. That is standing here on the wall and on the floor. I think this looks good. So yeah, these will, okay, let's just copy this, copy paste, Control C, Control V, move it over. Like this. Select both of them, Control C, Control V, and put them on the other side too. So these would be the lights that indicate if the door is locked or if it is unlocked. And we will give this the same material, door. Select the door material, go back here, select the door color 1, 2, 3, paste it in like this. Compile, and then we just need to make the change here. Instead of the cube, we need to do it on the door colors. So drag in door color, put it in here, delete the cube, drag in the next one, door color 1, plug it in. Of course they can't be plugged in at the same time. What was I thinking? Okay, so instead of duplicating this 4 times, which would be the easy way, the fast and easy way to do it, we will do something different. We will unplug this and we will make this into a custom event. So say custom, add custom event, then we say door lights, like this, and then we take the target here, which is the door colors. Take the target and drag it over here to the custom event, and then we have the target here, which means that if we drag out the door lights custom event, we have a target input here. Of course they're called target both places, so that's super confusing. So let's click on the custom event, go here to input, change this to door lights, door light, because we only plug in 1 in, right? And then we just move this away up here, and then we use this one, the custom event. Then we take the first door color and we plug it into door light. Okay, so now we copy paste this 3 times. I don't know why it's, anyways. Hold Alt and left click to remove the error things. Then we hook all this up. Now we do this 4 times. I mean, we could do this with a for each loop, but it will just be a little more confusing. And I know many of you who are starting on these tutorials I make are beginner dudes, right? So I'm trying to keep things simple and easy to understand here. So I think this is the most easy and simple way to do it. So plug these in also in the targets. What? With door light, why is this called target? Wait, okay, so if I copy paste this. Okay, delete this, guys. I don't know what's up with Unreal here. So we just copy and paste again. Hook it up. Now it says door light as it should. Paste it. So we have 3 of those. And then take door color 1, plug it in, door color 2, and so on for all of them. And if we go into the event, you can see that it turns blue when we overlap them. So now everything is red. And of course we don't want the door to be red, so go back here into this material, call this door lights. Door lights, and then maybe we can just put the floor material on the door just to begin with. Compile it, and save everything, right? And let's see how it works. Here we have a door. It is red, turns blue when it's open. Red door, it's locked, and now it's unlocked. So now you can see which doors you have been through. Alright. Also, I noticed these coins. They're blocking the character. See? So let's just fix that. Just go into the coin here. Go into the mesh and just set everything here and the collision preset to no collision. And you cannot step on it, and it won't create any overlaps. So that means that now the coins should not block the character. Yeah, it's not, so that's fine. So another thing we can do, we can add, we can make these lights actually illuminate, right? So we go into the master base material. Go into the base material in here, and then we can plug something into the emissive color here. So what we do is we take this color we already have, we drag out and we type in multiply like this, and then we plug that into emissive color, and this will be our multiplier. So if I set this to 0, it won't emit anything. If I set it to 10, it will emit light. And if I set this to blue, it will emit blue light. 100. Yeah, it's hard to see because the viewport is dynamic. It's trying to even out the brightness. Let's just get this back to gray like this and set this to 0. We can right click here on B and say promote to parameter, and we call it Illum, and we apply it and we save it. And let's just check here if everything is as it was before. Let's get out here, let's simulate. Let's just check that the materials are not messed up. All look fine. Then let's go down to door lights, go into it and click on the Illum we just made. Set it to, I don't know, 100, that worked. Save it. And play the game. So now we have awesome looking lights, and they emit light onto the environment because Lumen is on by default. See, now it changed lights. Now it looks even more badass than before. And again, you just go in, see here in the door, you make your door frame with lights and everything you need, and then all that moves are the door itself here, right? You can build everything around it so it looks like an awesome door frame, and you can go into Blender, make an awesome looking door, make parts that has the illuminated material on it, so details on the door will switch color when it opens, right? And these lights are not going down with the door because they are not a child of the cube here. It's the cube that goes up and down. If I put this under the cube like this, then these will go down also. Let's see. See, now they move with the door because they are children of the cube. So undo that. So just make an awesome looking door frame, and everything would look awesome. Okay, so I think the last thing I want to show you with this color door thing here is, let's try and, you know, do it with an animation so it slowly turns from red to blue and not just instant like we have right now. So we have our custom event here and we want to set a new color. That's what we want to do in the end. That's the end goal, right? So, and we have this get vector parameter value, so we need to get the color that the material currently have. So we can plug this in here. Oops, plug it in, and the return value needs to get plugged into the target too. Let's just unplug this. So we are creating dynamic material instance. Don't know what that means. And then I think this return value is the material, maybe. So the material is getting passed on to the vector parameter value. Don't know what that is. I get it. This is the value in the material that we are getting. We're getting this value from this material. And this one, that's a linear color structure. That is the color that this parameter has. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but it is what it is. So what we want to do here is we want to drag out, and then we want to type in lerp, because lerps comes in all kinds of shapes and forms, and we want to use the linear color lerp here. We want to put in two colors, one on A, one on B, and then we can blend between it with the alpha, just like we did with the location down here, with the C location. So if the value is 0, then we use this color, which is the default red color from the material on this parameter here. And then we just need to turn this into the blue color. We can copy this, right click here. We cannot copy it, of course, that would be too easy. You can click the value, then you can copy this sRGB code, Control C, click on the black color here and paste it in here, Control V, and OK. Then we get the exact same color. And the result of this we plug in to this color here. Plug it in like this. Make it look pretty. And now we need the animation. Doesn't make sense. If this is 0, it's the default red color, the door is locked. If this is 1, then it will use this color, the blue one. It's unlocked. That is what the lerp does. It blends between these two values. In this case, it's colors. So now all we need to do is to make the timeline, right? So right click out here, type in timeline. I mean, we could just copy the timeline we have. We already made the animation. So select this one, Control C, Control V, plug it in here, play from start, update like this, and plug the alpha down here. And you might be thinking, but this is color and the other one was location. But it doesn't really matter, because if you go into the timeline, it's just the value from 0 to 1 over 1 second. That's all it is. Let's make it 2 seconds. Go to the length, type in 2, and then click on this, the last keyframe. Set the time to 2 where the keyframe is placed, and the value just stays at 1. And then we click on these arrows to zoom out on the whole curve here. Go back to the event graph, rename the timeline to light change animation, and compile it. And what's the problem here? What is the problem here? The problem is that it needs a target. So drag out from the target, find something blue that lights up. Oh, there we go. It fits in here, it doesn't fit in here, so just plug it in where it fits. Move this around. Double click on the line here to make these reroute nodes, and compile. Let's see how it works. Play the game. Okay. It doesn't work. Okay, let's figure out why it doesn't work. I think one of them is blue. All right. Let's go in. Why is it only one of these that works? I don't know why that is, guys. It's changing color on this one probably, and then it ignores the rest. Let's try again. See if it's just one light that changes. Yeah, this one is blue. It slowly turns blue, as it should. See, and this could be the reason why you want to just duplicate all this and play that multiple times instead of doing this. I don't know why it doesn't work. Okay guys, I just can't figure this out. Maybe someone can help me in the comments. Why is this not working? It's like if a timeline is in a custom event and gets played multiple times, it won't work, something like that. But let's delete this. Let's delete the custom event. Let's do it the old-fashioned way. Drag in door color 0 here in the target, like this. Duplicate all this, copy paste, do it below, and then we need to rename this again. So light change 1. Copy the text, go into timeline, next timeline, paste, timeline 2. Copy, Control C, Control V, rename the timeline, get the other name here, Control C, Control V, light change 3, Control C, Control V, copy the timeline name, go to the new timeline, paste it in and say 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Door color, get door color 1, drag it down to this door color down here. Door color 1. Door color 2, drag it down to the next one. Door color 3, drag it down to the last one. Then we make a sequence. Right click, type in sequence, and then click add pin, so you get 4 pins, right? Drag it from this one on begin overlap, that part, drag it in here. So when this happens, these 4 things will happen. And drag 0 to the first one, whoops, 1 to 1, 2 to door color 2, 3, door color 3. This, I hope this works. Let's try. Play. That worked. See, it switches color over 2 seconds, which is awesome. Super awesome, guys. So, I mean, if someone can explain me why I need to do this when I have to do with a timeline, then I would be happy to know. So what is really happening on the begin overlap? We play the door animation, it opens, it moves the C, the C location, then it goes to the sequence, and the sequence is just, the first thing it do is this one, right? It goes through all this, boom, 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 and this is the end. When it reaches the end, it will play the next one, this one. It will go and play all this. It would be the same as if I took all this and played it after this up here, like plugging it in here. Oops, like this. This is the exact same thing, but in this case you just get a super long execution line here where things just keeps going. So let me just undo. A sequence is just a way to make it a little more clean. Yeah, I mean, it's not pretty, and also everyone will tell me that copy pasting all this is not the solution, and you should avoid this at all cost all the time, which is why I tried to make a custom event out of this, but it didn't work, and for some reason I don't know, but this is it, guys. I think that I will stop this part 3 right here with the doors. That has been the most requested feature for the dungeon, these doors. So I think we should just cut it here, and we'll see what I will put into part number 4. I'm sure I want to continue this tutorial because it's doing great for my channel, and I mean, most people like it, so I see no reason why to stop it. Why did it turn red? It's okay, the tutorial is not really done yet. Let's have a look. What's happening? What is happening? It's getting this color. So what is happening here is that the original color is red. The new color is blue. When you enter the trigger box, the timeline you can see here starts from 0 to 1. So when you enter the trigger box, the animation starts from 0, which is red, to 1, which is blue. So every time you enter the trigger box, it switches back to 0, which is red, and then it animates to blue every time you enter. And let's just make a little more room here. What we can do to solve this is we can make a do once node here. So if you right click and type in do once, yes, that's actually a thing. Do this only one time and then never do it again until I plug something in here which resets this, then you can do it again. So do a do once node here, which means that everything from here on and forward will only work once. Then next time you enter the trigger box, everything here will be ignored because it has already been triggered once and it can only do it once, so nothing will happen. Let's compile it and play. Turns blue, I go out of the trigger, I go in again, it stays blue. Nothing happens with the lights because there's a do once node. The door still works because that happens before the do once node. So there you have it, guys. I think this was one long full tutorial on how to implement doors into this dungeon. Which is of course a super important thing when you're making a dungeon. You need doors because doors are awesome. So I'm hoping you got something out of this tutorial again. And of course these are just, you know, cubes examples for doors and stuff. Make sure that your stuff looks more awesome and fits your game better than just a cube that goes up and down, right? Create an awesome looking door and use that. These are just how to implement it, right? How to more or less just concepts of how you can do things in Unreal. And again, I might not be doing things the right way as opposed to a professional Unreal user, but I mean it works for me, and this is super good for a full game. I've been creating almost a full game now with my Adventures of Gorm, and I'm doing it like this. I mean, this is definitely useful for a complete game to use systems like this. I mean, if it works, it works, and we're not getting any errors, right? Usually when you have been working on your game for a long time, every time you press escape to get out of this level, a ton of errors and warnings will pop up because a lot of problems are in your blueprints, right? But so far in this system I've been making here, we have no errors, and that is fantastic, guys. That just means that we are doing something right. Oh, and yeah, just before we close off here, I've got some help in the comments from last video about the stream thing. Let's go into Dungeon Generator here. You know, where we set the stream and everything from part 2. I couldn't figure out how to print the seed number that we're using for these dungeons, and people are telling me that I can just drag in the stream here, get it, and then I can break random stream. The thing is, let's say here print string. I make a print string. Let's play it right here when the dungeon begins. When the stream is created, it's getting created over here. This the first thing we do is setting the seed for the dungeon. And you know, I couldn't figure out how to plug it in here so I could see the seed number of the dungeon, so we can at any time go in and type in the seed we like here. Right now -1 means completely random every time. So let's try and plug this in here, and it will just be showing for, I don't know, 10,000 seconds. Make it a bright color here so we can see it easily. Compile. Let's play. See, in the left top corner, the seed number is 27516, and this number 220 something I already forgot. If you plug that number into the seed here, you get the exact same dungeon that we just saw. right? So when you're playing your random dungeons, if that pops up a dungeon that you really like, or if it breaks or anything, you can write down this number 5637. That's the seed number for this exact dungeon. So if you like that especially, or if there's problems, you can type that number into the seed here and you will get that same dungeon every single time. And that is super cool if you want to troubleshoot your dungeon. Let's say you find a dungeon that just doesn't work and you want to see if you can fix the exit point, the exit arrow part or something like that. Maybe there's not enough arrows, whatever. You can get the broken dungeon every time and you can keep going at it until you fix it. So getting the seed number like this is super valuable. But again guys, this is the third time I'm saying this. This is the end of the tutorial part number 3. I have taken notes from all your comments and I put it into a list on my phone so I can see what people need, and then I can figure out what I want to create for the next episode. If maybe there's also things I can figure out how to do, I will just ignore that for now. But the things that people are asking for that I can do, I will put that into the future parts of this dungeon tutorial video. So please do let me know in the comments if you have anything you want to see, and don't be too specific. Like, I want to see a fire spitting demon coming up from the boss room or something like that. Keep in mind to keep your request kind of general, right? This is a general concept on how to create a dungeon with everything that's in a dungeon. Even creating the door animation here might be going a bit too far with this, because that's a blueprint you want to create yourself following another tutorial. So some of the things I have written down for future episodes are things like these special rooms, kind of make a better system on how to implement special rooms and remove them so they only spawn 1 or 2 times. That is a thing. Then things like spawn player character, spawn enemies, that is also kind of important. Getting the navigation mesh to work when you spawn characters and stuff like that. Things like end room and boss rooms, I'm not sure if I can do that, but it's all on the list for future episodes if I can do it, right? So come with your suggestions. Also, if you have any notes or help to some of the problems I have run into this tutorial, also please let me know. That timeline thing with the lights was a bit odd, and again, I'm sorry if I'm wasting your time, but if you know how the timeline in custom events works, why it didn't work, please let me know. I would be super interested to learn more about that. Anyways guys, that's it for this video. Have a nice day and see you next time.